This drawing comes from the studio of Giovanni Bellini, and it's a very beautiful and fascinating drawing because we have studies on both sides that are really quite different in their approach, in their function, and in the handling of the figure. The drawing is on blue paper. Blue paper, of course, is made as blue with rags that are already blue used in the process. It gives a lovely gentle mid-tone that provides something hazy and atmospheric, which again I think Venetian artists must have liked very much. But the question is it actually a drawing made from observation or what? If we look more closely at it, we can see, for example, that the legs are slightly tricky in terms of the relationship. There's one perfectly reasonable left leg, but then when you're looking at the other leg, something seems to go slightly wrong in terms of the modelling there. We also see that there's an element of blue watercolour used. It stands out a little bit more now. You can see it quite clearly. And if you look very closely, you can see more of it correcting the modelling. So one question I had was, could this be somebody later? Could this be a restorer trying to do something to the drawing, intervening later on, or a collector in the 18th century? But here in the Ashmolean, our paper conservators have all sorts of ways of looking under the microscope or looking with different kinds of raking light or infrared, and they've been able to tell me for sure that this is absolutely contemporary with the drawing. And that again adds to the sense that actually this is made as a very careful copy of a drawing, a copy by someone in the studio who's being so careful that they've made a little mistake and they're correcting it in the blue so it doesn't show. So in one way, Bellini has got this production going on where no doubt he would have originally made a study from a live baby that could then be copied and used and reused in order to help produce these various variations on the very popular theme of the Madonna and Child. The drawing continues to be puzzling when we turn over to the other side, because on the other side of the sheet, which is today protected with some Melanex, we have a really creative work. So one question is this side of the sheet drawn by the same artist who worked on the copy, who worked on the lovely baby? Here, by comparison, we have a very finished, very elaborate study. It's in the same technique as on the other side of the sheet. That is, you have black chalk, you have pen and ink used quite carefully, you have lots of ink wash, very beautifully used to achieve this level of polish, this modelled figure that has quite a sculptural effect. And then you have the brush dipped into white with the light falling on the figure from the left, picking out and highlighting the areas, the salient areas of the figure. So again, adding to that feeling of grandeur and of sculptural presence. And then the artist has created a grid in chalk, but has actually started to go around it in pen and ink, fixing that figure as in, this is the figure that's going to be blown up onto a larger scale. It's going to be clearly a devotional image, and we're seeing it, we the viewer will see it from quite a low viewpoint. This is a very fine, very sophisticated drawing. Interestingly, it relates, but not absolutely directly, to a painting by Vittore Carpaccio. And Carpaccio is a fantastically talented artist who did, we believe, spend some time working with Gentile and Giovanni Bellini. So again, it raises questions for us as art historians to try to answer. And often they are not, in the end, fully answerable, but we can just create the argument, build together as much evidence as we can. Most scholars of Vittore Carpaccio at present think that this entire sheet, both sides of the sheet, are by Vittore Carpaccio. The question's not quite resolved.